Billionaire CEO, in order to test his wife's sincerity, rented a tricycle to pick up his wife for their move. Before his wife could ask more questions, he picked her up and put her on the tricycle. He then rode the tricycle toward their new home. After riding for over an hour, they finally arrived. His wife was surprised to find that the house her husband lived in wasn't a villa, but an old and rundown neighborhood. She curiously asked her husband what was going on. In order to appear more like a poor person, he lied to her, saying that his company had long since gone bankrupt. He explained that the $1 million he had lent the girl was from selling his house. The CEO originally thought the girl would disdain him for this, but unexpectedly, the girl became even more grateful to him. They were actually high school classmates. The girl had secretly had feelings for the boy for many years. The boy was a rich heir with an influential background, while the girl was an adopted child from a rural family. The gap in their social status made her too afraid to confess her feelings. Every time, she could only secretly watch the boy, and quietly draw portraits of his figure, planning to keep it as the first work she designed to remember him by. After graduation, they parted ways for many years. When they met again, the CEO recognized the girl immediately as his high school classmate. Later, they became intimate due to an unexpected event. The CEO's assistant investigated and found that the girl's adoptive father had fallen seriously ill and was hospitalized, and urgently needed a large sum for surgery. The CEO misunderstood that the girl had deliberately approached him for money. The girl gave the medical funds she had raised to her adoptive parents' biological daughter, but the biological daughter kept the money for herself. As a result, her adoptive father's condition worsened, and there was no money for surgery. The girl spent all her savings and was helpless, and could only squat on the floor, crying in despair. At that moment, the CEO, who was being urged by his parents to get married, arrived at the hospital. The CEO asked the girl to marry him. He promised to pay for the girl's father's medical expenses. After registering their marriage at the Civil Affairs Bureau, the CEO asked the girl to move in with him, to test whether the girl was after his money. He specifically rented a tricycle to pick her up. This leads to the scene at the beginning. They arrived at a new home that was only 10 square meters in size. The CEO smugly thought his plan would work. He thought that the girl would immediately divorce him when she saw such a poor house, but the girl was not after his money. Moreover, to thank the CEO for his help, the girl decided to treat him well in the future. Then, she secretly touched the CEO's body, and suddenly realized that his chest size didn't match the one she had drawn before. When she heard the CEO's angry reprimand, she awkwardly stopped. She then shyly ran back to the bedroom. In a panic, she forgot to bring her sketchbook, so she used her phone to roughly record the CEO's chest measurements, planning to prepare well for the design competition. She wanted to work hard and earn money to repay her hastily married husband. The CEO accidentally found the girl's portfolio, and to his surprise, there was a portrait of him inside. This made him even more certain that the girl had done this to get closer to him. In fact, the girl had secretly loved him for many years. The CEO, to keep evidence of the girl approaching him, took a picture of his own portrait in the portfolio with his phone. In the morning, the girl was woken up by the alarm and immediately sat up. Sleepy-eyed, she walked to the living room, and saw that the CEO, in order to seem even poorer, had pretended that he couldn't even afford breakfast. He had only prepared 2 bowls of plain rice porridge with a few pieces of pickled vegetables. The CEO thought this would make the girl leave him, but in reality, the girl felt deeply